Hi, well, it's me again. I am going to start a second YouTube channel because my first YouTube channel, Sunshine, I would like to keep mainly where kids that I teach, kids that you know, can go in and look. And so I need to keep that specifically for kids. Not that I want to talk about anything risque or anything. There are times I just need to be a little more grown up when I am talking to children, whether I'm reading a story or whatever it is I'm doing. I can hear my accent. Anyway, I am very conscious of the pace at which I speak, my pronunciation, and the vocabulary I use, because where I've been teaching now for several years, more than half my class, English is not their first language. And I am aware of that. And I am aware of how hard it is to learn a language and become fluent in that language. I do not speak Russian. I do not speak Ukrainian. I can get by, or at least I could, I don't know anymore, in Slovak. And I have a smattering of French and a smattering of Spanish. And I can say yes in Hungarian, igen. So that's the only one I remember from Hungarian. So anyway, I would like to keep that page more child friendly. And so I couldn't make, like, on the playlist where I list music that I like, I did list a list of Sunshine songs, which are happy songs, and I like that list. But I went to do a list of blues songs, and many blues songs maybe shouldn't be listened to by children. So, although it's great music, but the themes and some of the language, maybe not for kids. So I decided I would have two channels, one for kids, one here. Now I also have a blog. So why all of this communication suddenly? Well, part of it is this whole quarantine thing. You know, we're all kind of feeling that aloneness. And I think we're all trying to reach out to each other as best we can in some way. And so maybe that's part of it. I'm sure it is. But another part of it is I don't see myself on social media. I know, what does that mean? I don't see older women, little short round older women represented on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, not so much. I see boomers there. TikTok, I won't even go near TikTok. No, maybe I will later, but who knows. Twitter, all of those social media outlets. It's like I said, my handle on my blog is turning 70 in an Instagram world where the expectations, if you look at Instagram, is that we're all 23 and weigh about 14 pounds and are forever young. And while that's a lovely dream, it's not the reality. We're not all like that. Oh, my little dog has decided to make herself known. So anyway, I thought, well, I'm going to speak my truth, my experience, my knowledge, my life of what it's like turning 70 in an Instagram world. Some days it's depressing, but most of the days I'm fine with it. Anyway, how are you doing? I know turning 19 is difficult, and so is turning. The only birthday I cried over was 21. I cried. I was depressed for like a week over turning 21 because I thought when you turned 21, you had to have it all together and know who you were and know what you wanted from life. And there you were, and I had not one single clue. And I thought I must just be lagging behind or something. And that's not true, but that's how I felt. I am not dreading turning 70, but there are some things about turning 70 which I'm not too happy with. One of them is, as you age, especially as a woman, you become invisible. You do. You no longer fit the norm of what is seen as attractive. And I'm certainly not going to be having babies or anything soon. And so you become invisible. You go into a store and seriously, people look right past me, like I'm not even there. That happens too because of my size. It's like my money's not the same color as a thin woman's money, but it is. That's getting better, particularly online. There's several outlets that I go to find really nice clothes. I normally wear really nice clothes. I'm wearing t-shirts. I am in COVID isolation, so I'm pretty much in loungewear all day. I'm going out tomorrow though. So yeah, turning 70 has its drawbacks, and people expect me to, like, I don't know, stay home and knit or something. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. What I am doing is teaching. I work full time. I teach at an international school. I teach 6-year-olds who are very busy people. I'm teaching them online now because we're all in COVID isolation. But somebody asked me when I was going to retire, and originally I thought 68. Well, that came and went. And now I'm thinking 72 seems like a good age to retire. The only problem I have is I have no clue what I would do if I retired. I really don't. Because teaching isn't a job to me, it's who I am. And I know that sounds like a cliche or a platitude of some sort, but it's not. It's just who I am. When I walk in that classroom, I come alive. I do. When I see those marvelous little grubby faces with fingers in their nose, that's where I feel the most alive. And I can't imagine not teaching. I just can't imagine it. I try to get my head to go there, but it doesn't. And so far, the company I work for is gracious enough to say, well, as long as you're teaching and you're doing an okay job, good enough for us. So thank you for that, because I know in the States, many school districts would not even think about letting me teach because of my age. Not because I can't teach, but because of my age. And I think that's ridiculous. There are people who are in their 30s who probably should maybe look for other careers. And there are people in their 80s who could probably still do a really fine job of teaching if they wanted to. So yeah, there's that. There's the whole, there's the, when you're a young girl, maybe even a young man too. I don't have experience with being a young man, so I can't speak to that. But I can speak to being a young girl. And when you're a young girl, you can use your charm to kind of get around things. Yes, I have talked my way out of speeding tickets. But at my age, I'm more likely to hear, do you need assistance? Can we help you? And I used to be all upset about that. And I would say, I'm fine, back off, leave me alone. But now a friend of mine pointed out that she asked me, do you feel good when you help people? And of course I do. Don't you feel good when you help people? I do. She said, so let them feel good and let them help you, even if you really don't need it. So I try to do that. But there are days I want to say, seriously, I can tie my own shoes. Really, I can. But then there are days that the help that's offered, even though at first I may not want to admit it, it really helps. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. So, and I have, like, the guards at the gate at school will run in and take my arm and help me when it's slippery outside. And during this time of crisis, people have gone grocery shopping for me, because here in Ukraine, if you're over 60, you're really not supposed to leave the house unless you're walking the dog. And I get to walk the dog. Other people tried to walk her. She won't have any of it. No, no, no. So, yeah. I'm hoping by launching this channel that we can chat and we can talk about what it means to be a woman in these times, what it means to be an older woman in these times. And you guys out there, what's it like turning older for you? There probably are some fears there that we don't talk about. So let's talk about them. But it's not all going to be so serious, because you might have figured out I'm not always that serious. Although sometimes people don't catch my humor, but that's okay. And like I said, I'm not a beauty guru, but I did want to tell you today about some products, some things that I got in my TheraBox. I like TheraBox. It's like my luxury. It's a self-care box. You subscribe to it. It can come once a month. You can get just one. You can look it up online, TheraBox. And I pay a pretty premium to have it shipped here to Ukraine, but that's like my big monthly treat. So, and I've got things from several boxes here that I wanted to tell you about. One is, do you have a horse? Do you like horses? And you're saying, Ruth, you're talking about horses. Well, this came in one of the boxes. And to me, it looks like, don't they call it a curry comb? Where you brush the horse? Yeah. So that's what this reminded me of, and I was very skeptical of it. It's got these white parts here are kind of hard, rubbery things, and then there's like the natural bristles. So, yeah. And you're supposed to use it dry. Well, one of the things that happens when you get older is your skin gets very dry, and it gets thinner, and it's more delicate. I have bumps and bruises and scratches and cuts. I have no clue how I got them, because sometimes if I just bump into something, I end up with like a cut or a bruise or whatever. And my mother told me that happened, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Well, she was right. So the idea of this is that you dry brush from your extremities, your feet and your hands, to the core of your body, and that moves all the liquid, water retention kind of things to the core of your body, where your body can eliminate it. But it even says on the directions, if you have delicate skin, to use it wet with like a shower gel. So I did that, and it was okay. It was okay. I especially liked it on my feet. But all in all, I prefer a washcloth or a shower poofy. So this was kind of not a hard pass, but it was like, yeah, it's interesting, and I used it, but nah. That made a noise, didn't it? So the other thing that surprised me, that I immediately went, I don't think so, but turns out it's really cool, is this stuff. It's called Sea Minerals Champagne Charcoal Scrub Relax, and it's by Manna Kadar, Mannakadar. Can you see this? It's got a lot of glare there. I don't know. So I'm trying to find where the glare is coming from. There it is. This is charcoal body scrub. Charcoal figures into a lot of things lately. I think people see it as purifying and cleansing and that kind of thing. And I guess it does have some antimicrobial properties. That one I'm not so sure of. So anyway, I was like, I'm not so sure, but I wish you could smell this. It has the most lovely fresh scent, not overpowering, not strong, but just this lovely, almost pear-like scent, I want to say, but not overpoweringly so. I don't generally like fruit scents, but if you look at it, do you see that? It looks like something you would dig out of the bottom of your dad's charcoal grill. And I'm not a shower person, and I didn't see me using this in the bathtub so much, but I decided to try it yesterday. So I showered, and you get your body wet, and then you scrub this on. It's really nice. It left my skin smooth and soft and so nice. So I highly recommend that wherever, I'm sure you can get them online. You don't have to subscribe to TheraBox. because I'm sure, I don't know if it'll focus on that. Will it focus on that? No, not so much. Anyway, most of the stuff you get in TheraBox you can find online, like this. Now, I've had this one for months, and it's almost gone. And this is by Minimo. This I know you can get online because I went and looked them up. And this is the turmeric face scrub. This is amazing stuff. It has the most amazing scent. I love how it smells. I love how it feels on my skin. And again, I have very delicate skin and I'm allergic to everything. So this one I used, and you see I've used it a lot. I use it about once a week, maybe, or twice a week. And you rub it, you massage it in, and then leave it for a while. So usually what I do is I wash my hair. I got a haircut, by the way. What do you think? Michelle did a nice job. So I wash my hair, then I use this on my face, and then I do the rest of my routine. And so it sits on my face while I do all the scrubbing and, you know, all of that. And then I splash rinse it off because I wiped it off with a face cloth, and I forgot turmeric stains. It does. So be careful about that. Then I wanted to tell you, because it's getting to be spring, and I wanted to remind all of you, I don't care if you're 19 or 90, you need to wear sunscreen and a hat, okay? And I speak from experience. I grew up in Minnesota, and I grew up on a lake. And so from the moment I woke up until exhaustedly I would fall into bed, I was outside. And when I was that age, we did not use sunscreen. We didn't know. It's not that my parents were, you know, neglectful or anything. We just didn't know, honestly. So I have a lot of sun damage on my skin. You can see it here. Do you see the red there and there? Yeah. And I had melanoma. Right there. Right on the end of my nose. And it took 3 surgeries to get rid of it. 2 of the surgeries were for removing the melanoma, and the 3rd surgery was the plastic surgery so that I didn't look like a bad imitation of Michael Jackson's nose at the end. Poor Michael Jackson. And that's part of why my nose is crooked, because they had to do a flap to cover where they remove skin, and it was not pleasant. So please wear sunscreen. And one of the things that I do, because I don't always remember sunscreen, I don't know about you, I just don't think about doing it. You know, I think about it like if I'm going to the beach, or I know I'm going on a picnic or that kind of thing, but on a day-to-day going outside and going to work and being out on the playground with the kids or whatever, I don't really tend to think about it that much. So I looked for a facial moisturizer that had a high SPF in it and didn't make me break out, because again, I have that dry, delicate skin. And the best products I found I used Clinique, and I used Estee Lauder, and I used Shiseido, and I used all different kinds of price-pointed brands, and this turns out to be the best one. This is Aveeno, absolutely ageless. This is the day moisturizer, and you can see it's 30 SPF. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a 30 SPF daily moisturizer. It comes in this, it's got a pump so you don't get your fingers into the product and get it full of bacteria. I talked to my dermatologist and said, okay, my moisturizer has a 30 SPF. Is that good enough? And she said yes, as long as you remember to apply it in the morning, and then if you're out in the sun a lot, apply it again in the afternoon. So I do, and the bottle is small enough I can throw it in a purse. It's okay. They have in the line they have a cleanser, the daily moisturizer, the night cream, and while it's not the most expensive brand out there, it's not the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive. I think it's considered a drugstore brand. You can, in the States, I know you can buy it at like Target and Walmart, and I tend to buy it off of Amazon because they'll ship it here to Ukraine for me. It's really good stuff. So anyway, that's about all I have. I had a bunch of other stuff, but I don't want to bore you with it. One of the things that comes in the TheraBox every time are little cards that can remind you of things. I declare in every season, happiness flows freely from me. And that's what I want. That's how I want to be. I want to have happiness flowing from me. Turning 70 is daunting. It's a little scary. It's a little challenging. I move slower than I used to. Stairs can be, my knees are so bad, but that's okay. I can still go up and down stairs. I just move a little slower. I can still walk to the store. It just takes me a little time. I can still do things, but it just takes a little time to do them. And what I would ask of you, if you're not 70, is to be patient, please. Don't try to rush me up or down the stairs. Don't give me that exasperated look when I move a little slower than you do. If it's really bothersome, then just go around me, please. I know you are doing the best you can, and I want you to know I'm doing the best I can. This is the best me at 70. Now, do I have room for improvement? I do. Everybody does. But this is who I am. This is what I am. And I'm going to do my best to celebrate that, to celebrate you, and to go forward towards August where I hit that big 7-0 with humor and confidence and maybe even a little bit of chagrin. It's like, how in the world did I get this old? I'm not saying I did not, because the alternative, no. But yeah, and if you're young, if you're 19 or 20 or even 30, you might not anticipate being 70. It's quite a trip, trust me. So I hope you'll join me on this trip to 70 and then beyond, to 70 and beyond. And we'll talk again. And look for my playlist, because I'm going to put some together. I'm going to put a blues playlist together. I'm going to put a surprise list of artists that you may not know, but that are really cool, or artists that you would maybe not listen to. Because like, I have friends that go, I will never listen to country. I don't like country music. And I used to be that way. I did. And then I thought, well, you could have an open mind. And so I did. And I found some artists that are labeled country that I think are absolutely fabulous. So you might have a list of those. Lots of different lists of different kinds of music, because music is a big deal for me. And so I hope you'll do that. And if you have questions or you want me to address something about aging or not aging or anything, you can put them in comments below. I hope you'll click subscribe, and I hope that you'll have a great day. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. We need more of you. Bye-bye.